Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. For you guys today, we're going to be discussing what happened in January. This was my January update. To keep things short and sweet and simple, I epically failed my no-buy in January. To really explain kind of why that is, we have to go back to December. So just bear with me for a minute. December 2nd, my mom picked me up from work at Rite Aid, and she's like, we have to go to your grandma's house, my grandma Rose's house, because your cousin Ben found her dead. She's dead, and we have to go take care of things. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Now, the thing of it is my grandma Rose and I, we weren't particularly close. She wasn't really introduced in my life until I was an early teenager. I think I was like 13 or 14 when the first time I actually consciously remembered meeting her. Because to be straight up honest with you, she wasn't always like the nicest person. And she kind of burned a couple bridges with my mom and stuff. So my mom didn't really introduce us until my Uncle Bob, who no longer talks to us, called my mom and is like, hey, can you please help mom out? Or my mom's mom, my grandma out, because she really, really needs help. But anyway, long story short, she died on December 2nd at the age of 79, a week before her 80th birthday. As I already said, we weren't very close, but there are still like core key memories with her. Like, I have two hats that I love to wear during the winter time. One is like a green slouchy hat, and the other one I call an elf hat, but it's like this long purple hat that has like a pom-pom at the end. And I literally sometimes, if I'm really, really stressed out, I will flip it over and just bat it back and forth like a cat with a toy. The one year when we didn't have power at our old house, we went over there for Christmas, and she gave us like a whole bunch of baked goods, and that's what we ate for like the next 2 days, were all the baked goods that she'd given us for Christmas. Her and I, like, we really enjoyed crocheting together. I learned how to play 7 Up, 7 Down with her. My favorite thing in the world was like to set her. But that happened in December. And then on January 4th, I get a phone call at 10:20 in the morning, and I had only been home and asleep for about 2.5 hours because I worked third shift Wednesday night, and Thursday the 4th was a Thursday, so I'd only gotten home at 7:30 in the morning on Thursday, and I'd gone right to sleep because I had to go to work at Rite Aid that day. I get a call at 10:20 in the morning from my mom saying, Shanna, your dad's in the hospital. Do you want to go see him still, or did you still want to go to work? Because my dad and I had been estranged for a very long time. We were working on building back our relationship up, but we were estranged for a really long time. And then on the 4th, I get that phone call, and I'm like, yeah, I want to go see him in the hospital or whatever. Get up, get dressed. I'm in the process of brushing my teeth. 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from my mom again saying, Shanna, honey, he's gone. He died. And I'm just like, what? You know, he was 55. He wasn't supposed to be dead yet. So I went, my mom came and got me, and I went to my grandma's house because he lived, my grandma Ruth, who's my mom, or my dad's mom. We went over there because that's where he'd lived. He'd lived with his parents. And we got there, and I've never seen my grandparents cry. Ever. and my grandma is just sitting there bawling her eyes out, and my grandpa can't stop repeating that his baby's gone. And then that Monday, the following Monday, so the 8th, was his funeral. And it wasn't even really a funeral, it was just a private viewing. Because he didn't have insurance, or he didn't have a will or anything. But it was so sudden for him to be gone. And right now we still don't know what caused his death. So, for those two things that happened so suddenly, like right next to each other, I basically said fuck it and then oh bye. You guys saw I bought the Skin by Kim beauty things. I ended up buying some work clothes, because I actually did need clothes for work. I need pants and a couple non-branded hoodies that I could wear that would match the dress code for Rite Aid. And then I kind of said fuck it. If I really wanted DoorDash, I ordered DoorDash. I didn't order it every day like I had been. But I'm sorry. Hold on. But yeah, so with those two things happening so close together, I said fuck it to January's no buy and just did whatever I needed to. That being said, I did learn some things about myself during January. I learned that when it comes to makeup, I don't really have a hard time not buying makeup. Like, makeup is something I can tell myself I have enough of, I don't need anymore. Same thing with clothes. Like, I have enough that unless it's filling like a very specific hole in my wardrobe, I can kind of tell myself I don't need things anymore. Like, my shoes that I have right now, they're falling apart, so I'm probably going to end up ordering a pair of shoes here pretty soon. Because, you know, working from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 7:30 in the morning, 4 days a week or 3 days a week, it kind of wears your shoes out pretty fast. And then working 7 hours the rest of the week, it wears your shoes out. So, like, I need new shoes. That's not a lie. That's not anything I'm telling myself that isn't true. But when it came to DoorDash, that's kind of where I found out I struggle. Because I like the convenience of DoorDash. Convenience is a big thing for me. I also really like the variety that I can get with DoorDash that I can't necessarily get with really anything else. Like, I will eat, like, let me see, what did I make in January that I had to eat? I made chili, and I had that for a week straight. I just put it in like little pre-serving dishes, and I stuck it in the freezer at work, and my friend and I ate that for over a week. I made tuna noodle casserole, had that for 4 days. I made stir-fried vegetables and like sausage, had that for over a week. You know, I can eat the same thing for over a week without issue. I'm really sorry. I can eat the same thing without issue for over a week. I cannot eat the same thing for lunch and dinner. I cannot do it. And that's kind of where I found myself struggling, was lunch and dinner having to eat the same thing. That's kind of where I found out I was just wanting something different. So, like, I'd order Wendy's. I'd order Burger King. I'd order Little Caesars. I'd order Subway, tropical smoothie. You know, so just like those types of things. So I found out I need to have more variety, but also snacks. Snacks are apparently, I guess, I did not realize this, are a very big deal with me because I'm constantly wanting to munch on stuff. I always am wanting to munch on chips or pretzels or candy or something. I'm trying to make it not so much candy, but like chips, pretzels, bell peppers, you know, just trying to come up with more creative things for me to snack on so that I have something to like munch on. That was a big thing for me. But yeah, so that was January. I realized that this is going up in February, so I do apologize for that. But after what happened, I couldn't film. Like, my heart wasn't in it, my head wasn't in it. So all the videos you guys saw that happened after the 4th, those are pre-filmed, pre-recorded, set to be published on a specific date and time. None of those were ones that I made in January. Every time I went to go try and film in January, it wasn't any good. And while my editing is bad, I try to at least make sure that my content is good for you guys, that you have like a full experience. But I couldn't do it. I could not do it. So I ended up throwing out the videos that I did have made, that I recorded. I think it was just too much stress because I also started having nightmares again about it. Like, I started having nightmares. Like, the one morning I woke up out of a dead sleep, because I thought my cousin Ray had been shot because he's a security guard, that my grandpa had died, my dad's dad had died, and that Bear had been hit by a car. I'm running up the stairs because I sleep downstairs. I flipped the covers off, grabbed my phone, ran up the stairs to check on Bear. At the same time, I'm texting Ben because I don't have Ray's phone number. I'm texting Ben, who's his brother, and I'm like, hey, is Ray okay? I had a really freaky dream. And he was okay, and Bear was okay, and then I had to wait till like 10:30 to call my grandma's house because my grandpa would have to be inside the house from doing chores on the farm. And after that, I sat there and I bawled for 20 minutes. I cried for 20 minutes. It was just, and sometimes, like, I'm still having, like, little nightmares where I just shoot awake. I don't know what the nightmare was about, but that's the only time I wake up like that, is if I've had a nightmare where I just, like, sit straight up in bed and I'm awake like that. But yeah, so that was January. That's my January update. Sorry, it's kind of a morbid one. Hopefully February's will be better. But anyway, with that being said, I will see you all in my next video. Bye.